that I can't change the future, or that you can't, or that anyone in this room cannot change the future. I want to believe that each and every one of us has the power to change the future for ourselves and for the world. Unfortunately, philosophy doesn't care much for your beliefs or desires, and neither does my movie titled Mr. Nobody. In this dense film directed by Jaco van Dormael, I have opted to investigate one of the many philosophical questions that he poses in this film: whether or not free will is compatible with determinism if string theory exists. Now let me break these terms down for you before we go on. We have free will, which states that we can do whatever we choose to without constraint of necessity or fate. Determinism states that all events are planned for you. And finally, string theory is another term for the theory of everything. Stephen Hawking, you guys got that, yeah? String theory states that everything in the universe, from humans to objects, are created by invisible strings that tie us all together. And they expand across the universe endlessly. So, now we're looking into whether or not free will is compatible with determinism if string theory exists. Now, as long as the universe continues to expand, time will continue to exist in a forward linear manner. However, what happens when the universe stops expanding? In theory, time will reverse. The film Mr. Nobody is centered on this concept, following the life of this man, Mr. Nemo Nobody, who is 120 years old and is the last mortal man living in a world full of immortal people. At 120 years of age, he's on his deathbed. And we follow his life story, or should I say stories, by him telling his stories to a journalist coming to write his whole life story. We do not find out until near the end of the film that Mr. Nobody has become stuck in a cosmic temporal loop, which sends him back approximately 115 years of his life. Back to the time when he lives with adoptive parents, and it's around the time at 9 years of age when his adoptive parents divorce. And the impossible decision that lies with this 9-year-old boy when his parents divorce is which parent to live with for the rest of his life. The film suggests that Nemo has in fact gone back in time a few times already and has had the opportunity to elect one parent or the other. So he's gone both directions, lived both lives, but now he's gone back a third time, where he's presented with this issue again about which parent to go with as they go their separate ways. The only remaining option for him this third time around, the last time he goes back in time, is to not choose. And so with this choice, he runs away from both of his parents because as he has gone back in time this third time, he sees visions of his future with both of these parents. And in both of these futures with these parents, he dies an early death. So he's left with the decision not to choose, as he knows his future with both parents already. Given this information, I will be arguing that if string theory is the only means to the time and space continuum, free will cannot be present. In other words, we do not possess free will if the string theory is an accurate representation of reality. I argue this because though you have the free will to choose which direction you want to go if you're continuing to go back in time. Though you have this option, as you go back in time continuously, your choices dwindle. And so it finally narrows it down to one possible choice that you're left with. And ultimately, according to Mr. Nobody, a pivotal choice, such as deciding which parent to go with, will define the rest of your life. That is, until you reach the point of not choosing. Thank you.